All right, baby, we're gonna go back to the British invasion. I'm gonna put on my DJ voice.
Okay, that would be so cool.
We're gonna get our stacks of wax for the racks of the
Oh
back.
my gosh, can you rap too?
Yeah, you know, once upon a time,
Right.
disc jockeys played discs.
RPM,
Yeah,
revolutions per minute?
yeah. You had your 45s and then your 33s. RPMs.
Look again. Ed Wank goes and checks out a band who does Beatles, Stones, that kind of music.
Yeah.
And it should be fun.
And they're called 45 RPM.
Check it out.
So why this specific era of music? Why did you guys pick this narrow range here of 1964 to 1967?
Because hands down, it is the greatest music of all times. It's music that we all grew up with. Several of us played in garage bands back in the 60s, and we've kind of taken this thing full circle at this point to be back playing the music that we played in our youth.
So how did you guys all connect? How did the five of you connect?
You know, there was no other bands playing 60s music. You know, we thought there'd be a niche. And actually, I put an ad out to see if there was anybody who wanted to play 60s music.
Okay.
And Jack said, I don't want to join the band, but we have a band, you know.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, you want to come out and see us?
you want to come out and see us? We're playing like in a couple of weeks. So I went to see them and we just swapped
And
phone
then,
numbers
a couple months later, our guitar player quit, and I called up Richard, and he was a perfect fit.
So it's a specific sound. It's jangly. You know, do you get that using original equipment? Tell me about the amplification. Tell me about the effects pedals you use. How much is vintage? How much is new?
It's pretty much a mix, but yeah, you need to have that sound, and there's only certain instruments that can get that sound, or certain amps that can get that sound. So Doug has got his Ringo Starr Ludwig drums, and Jack's got his Paul McCartney Rickenbacker bass.
Right on.
And I'm playing through Vox type amps.
Of course, sure.
With Epiphones and Gretsch. I don't have my Gretsch tonight.
Old
but,
Fenders, though, I see over there.
No, you've got to have a Fender, yeah.
All right.
And Dino can get about anything he likes on his keyboard.
That's the advantage of contemporary keyboards.
Okay.
When they have horns or vocals or organ and piano, you can pull it all up. Absolutely. And hopefully we duplicate the sound. We work very diligently at doing that.
All right, music history time. You had Elvis joins the Army, Buddy Holly passes away. You have this explosion of surf music in the early 60s, and all of a sudden the British invasion happens. Why do you think this music got such a foothold in the United States specifically?
You better ask the Americans that
I would.
question.
That's a good question.
Well, I think rock music, after Elvis went into the Army, then the heads of the record companies tried to kind of tamp down rock music, kind of make it very white bread, if you will. So they went through a period there of 3 or 4 years where there just really wasn't much good coming out. The Beatles took a lot of different American influences, Motown, early rock and roll and so forth, kind of, made their own version of it, came back and brought it back to us. And of course, the country at that time, the Kennedy assassination had just happened when the Beatles hit the scene, and it was something new and fresh. And it was totally novel to have a band that wrote their own material and played all their own instruments in the studio as well. So.
Really interesting. All right, now what was the American reaction to this then? How did American bands respond to the British invasion at the time? Yeah, obviously the Beach Boys were gaining traction at that point, right?
Oh yeah, they were very big, and the Beach Boys and the Beatles really had quite a rivalry going between the two of them. But
I was playing in a band in Chicago at that point, and whenever a new Beatles song or a Stone song came out, I mean, by the end of the day, we were playing it because we were playing every day, and I think that's one of the things that's really cool about this band is that we were all playing this music. Richard maybe not. He's a little younger than us, but we were all playing this music back then.
Was he playing Nick Lowe and stuff, or what?
Elvis to Richard is Costello, not Presley. Okay, so.
Hey, Dino's got some street cred. He played with Chuck Berry, a guy, right? The first wave of rock
Yes,
and roll, right?
about 6 months in 1972. Wow. Giving away more than my age, well, less than my age, I guess. But that was a real fun time with many groups. It's a Beautiful Day. I can't remember some of the group names, but we all just hung out and and played these outdoor stadiums. I did 6 with them. We played here in Indianapolis at the baseball field. That was our first one. And there's nothing like starting to play and 10, 12,000 people go,
Who among you still has 45 singles at home in your collection? That's 100%. That's 100%. Guys, this has been a blast. I'm sorry I forgot my black vest. But
Hey, you've got the button on.
I do have the button. I do have the 45 RPM button. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for coming out. Yeah, big thrill for us.
Hope you enjoy the show.
Thank you. For Boomer TV, this is 45 RPM, and I'm Ed Wank.